President-elect Trump expressing frustration with recent moves by President Biden in his final days in office, including Biden's ban on new oil offshore drilling in most federal waters.
And Peter Ducey is live in Washington with the latest for us. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning. And it seems like this is really frustrating to the president-elect because there's nothing he can do about it until he gets into the Oval Office just after noon, 13 days from today. But what we're seeing is President Biden, the current president, throwing a bunch of legacy items at the wall to see what sticks. This time he's trying to make oil drilling harder in ways that could be kind of complicated to unban.
So let's be clear here, the area President Biden is protecting has a relatively minimal fossil fuel potential in the areas and do not justify the environmental, public health, and economic risks that would come from new leasing drilling.
We've got a map of the areas that Biden is banning drilling, but these new bans may be super short-lived. In 2 weeks, President Trump will have two options. The first is to get Congress to act and change the law. And then the second is to issue his own executive order and then just wait for this all to play out in court. Some way, he says he's going to make it happen.
It's ridiculous. I'll unban it immediately. I will unban it. I have the right to unban it immediately. What's he doing? Why is he doing it? We have oil and gas at a level that nobody else has, and we're going to take advantage of it. And when I see somebody saying he's going to ban 625 million acres, he doesn't know what that is. He doesn't even know what 625 million acres would look like.
Something else the Biden White House is doing on the way out is emptying out Gitmo. 11 Yemeni prisoners are on their way to Oman to live freely. A lawyer for two of the detainees says they want to live their lives, they want to get married, they want to have kids, they want to get a job and have normal lives. And once this exchange is done, this release is done, there will be, that has been a huge problem, of course, is you can tell somebody that they're not supposed to enter the United States, but people do it by the thousands.
We've seen the numbers.
Especially in this administration.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
You know, I just wonder, like, after all these years, why these people still have breath? Why they're even a conversation? They should have had a legal process where these people could be tried, military tribunal, and executed for what they contributed to with 9/11 and the fact that they were bodyguards for Osama bin Laden. And I think it just goes to the fact, it's what I alluded to yesterday of Joe Biden. He's rejecting what the voters decided, which they didn't want any more of his type of administration. There's just
15 prisoners left in Guantanamo Bay. That is the fewest since they started using that as a military prison for terror suspects after 9/11.
I wonder how they're going to have their soccer games. They're going to be unbalanced now. It would be 7 on 8.
On a really fancy field, if you remember,
I wonder if the young people who died in 9/11 might have wanted those things too, might have wanted to get married and have a family and play soccer.
Peter, I know that, this flurry of repatriating these people back to Oman is in anticipation of, it sounds like Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is about to enter a guilty plea. And then he would be transported somewhere, but there's a law that says that none of these guys can go onto U.S. soil. So do we have any idea where they might put that guy and then the other 14? Because obviously they want to close the place.
Not yet, and we don't really have a good idea of how they would keep track of these terrorists once they are released.
Yeah. Good point.
And thanks, something that we have seen.
Biden government right now. We have a new Congress that's controlled by Republicans when it comes to the Senate as well as the House. Instead of just leaving, respecting what the voters said, he wants to make it difficult for the next president when he comes in.
Well, one of the things about the people, and keep in mind, once upon a time at Gitmo, there were 780 detainees. And now, as Peter just said, they're down to the last 15. Most of them have never been charged with anything.
I know.
And most of them there is no connection to 9/11. So the problem is, as they try to repatriate, according to the administration, the problem is there are very few countries that want to take these guys and house them forever. Because keep in mind, most of them have spent their entire adult lives at Gitmo. And most of them, according to their lawyers, are suffering from significant mental health issues. Who's going to take those guys?
Yeah, but they are linked to terror.
Right.
To 9/11, Wesley's fighting Afghanistan as well as Iraq and the region. And now in Yemen, we know it's a hotbed for terrorism. The Houthi rebels have established themselves. So they're going to Oman. We'll see what happens. Remember when we took those guys, we took the Afghanis and we put them in a neighboring country? Barack Obama did. They end up going back
to the battlefield.
power. No, they went back to the battlefield.
Yeah.
And now they're in power in Kabul running Afghanistan. So they really learned their lesson.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Washington, Elon was clad in tuxedo and black tie, took the stage as President-elect Donald Trump Mar-a-Lago report shortly after the election with all the swagger of winning candidates himself. The public has given us a mandate that we could not be more clear. It is clearest mandate. The people have spoken. The people want change. Musk told the audience of Trump biggest donors, campaign leaders, and appointment seekers. We are going to shake things. It's going to be revolution. Musk's attachment to Trump has created an alliance between America's most powerful politician and its richest businessman. And roughly the same percentage of Americans have favorable views of each, according to a new poll from the NORC Center of Public Affairs Research. Experts are split on everywhere that overlap in public opinion is a good or bad thing from Musk business or for Trump politician, but it could have far-reaching effects in both realms. Musk, whose net worth tops 400 billion, oversees 6 businesses with contributing to work closely with Trump electric car manufacturer Tesla, the X social media platform, space technology company SpaceX, brain link company Neuralink, the startup XAI, and turning operating the Boring company. Even though there is negative impact in terms of potentially alienating some of their customers that might not be fans of Trump, the benefits far outweigh any negative when it comes to having a right hand seat next to Trump in the White House, said Dan Leaves, an analyst at Wellbush Securities. Rose Gerber, CEO of Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management, identified himself as an investor. Musk, Tesla, and driver of Tesla new Cybertruck, the futuristic pickup that has gotten huge amount of attention but also been the subject of safety concern and multiple recalls. Having your CEO not working at your company and working at the job of having to fire government employees. As a shareholder, I am paying someone to not work for my company. He said, as a Cybertruck owner with self-driving that sucks, it does not work. I am like, dude, this is not fair. But despite his skepticism, Gerber said he won't stop investing in Musk businesses. I have made a lot of money with Elon. He said, I am not in business of investing based on the popularity of CEOs. Musk does not appear to give Trump much boost with people who don't back into incoming president. He is no more popular with the US public than the president-elect himself and viewed unfavorably by about half of Americans, according to the AP-NORC poll. About 4 to 10 Americans have